So here is the first in a long-winded series of long-winded videos that are going to be talking about vehicles used during the Spanish Civil War. Now, if that's not your thing, this video probably isn't going to be a thing. So just early warning, it might get a bit nerdy, it might go on a while, so bear that in mind. But let's jump straight into it. So what I want to do is build up well, I don't need to build up a collection, I've got all the kits, believe me, but I want to actually get these things built. Now, there has been things in the past that I was always an armour modeller, and things were a little bit tricky back along, where I was doing it since I was well, quite young. I suppose must have been, I was looking at an article the other day that I seem to remember like it was yesterday, and it was from 2001. I mean, I was still nowhere. I finished school in 2003, so there you go. That shows you how young I must have been, 13, something like that. And that wasn't the beginning. So I've been doing, as I was a child, I used to do armour modelling all the way through. It was my thing. Really liked tanks. I do remember it was more about building the kit than ever painting it. I remember when I first finished a kit, I was obviously, well, I was a lot later on. You know, I was with an airbrush, probably 16, something like that. So really got quite, I would say, for that age, knowing what I don't know now, probably quite advanced in many respects for the building. I was using photo etch, probably going a bit too far into the details. This is me going on a long-winded way back to where I'm trying to talk about. And really got burnt out by it. I'd sort of come back to the hobby, started building tanks again, was jumped straight back into it, going on bloomin' armour and all this, and picking up a kit that I thought was great and finding out that something was wrong with the turret dimensions and trying to fix it. And you go down a rabbit hole of, you know, you've got to think about why you're building it in the first place. And often you get these people who get so far into the details, they fix all of these things and then maybe paint it by brush and not perhaps put the amount of effort in that they should. So you think, what was the point in the first place? If you've then, you know, you fixed all these things that you've been totally agonising about, and then you give it a bad paint finish. Or you give, you fix a load of things, but then you don't change out the tool clamps or something like that. So really, for me, if you're going to build in that style where everything needs to be perfect, everything needs to be perfect. And you're probably going to find you're not going to finish many models, you're not going to enjoy it, it's not going to be that good an experience. So, after realising that, going into aircraft with absolutely no idea what any of them are meant to look like, just build them out the box, kind of made me think, well, obviously I'm building in a lot of mistakes into these models, and the world doesn't end, no one cares, and the old people that do notice it, well, you know, good for them, that's brilliant. So carrying that back through, I've tentatively got back into the armour a little bit. Now I'm coming into it from an angle where I know a little bit too much about it in some cases. Like, I don't think I could build a Tiger tank, for instance. Not yet. I just know too much about it. Know too many kits are wrong, know the places to look to find out why they're wrong, and on it goes. So we might get one of them in the future, who knows, but what's that got to do with the Spanish Civil War? Good question. Well, what I want to do is build some of these kits. So I've got them in the stash and I'm agonising about what they were meant to do and what type was there and here and everything. I don't think we need to worry about that too much. That's what I'm trying to get at. So as long as the base vehicle is pretty much what was there. Now what we're dealing with here, this Henschel 33D1, that was very much there. And I've got a book, I hesitate to show, open the book and show you the pictures on video, but there's a fantastic book, which I'll just go and grab, which is this book here, which has finally answered some questions for me. So there's quite a lot of people in this old Spanish Civil War thing, quite a lot from a modelling point of view, and they know an awful lot, a lot more than me. All I'm ever doing is just taking their information. They've done the hard work and I'm going, thanks very much, that's brilliant, that's answered this question, that question, whatever. Again, like I mentioned in a previous video, head on over to the Facebook group if any of this is of interest to you. It's run by me. There's a couple mods on there who are perfectly nice. They're not gonna. It's a nice group. We don't want sort of rivet counting or anything. Certainly when we're coming to this, there's a lot of people who go, "Oh, that was wrong." Well, that's not helpful. It's fine to say it was wrong, as long as we get to a point where we know it was right. So for Panzer I's, for instance, over in Spain, often depicted in grey, they were not grey. There is no point ever, it seems, where there was a grey Panzer I in Spain. That's not to say that someone pops up a grey Panzer I with the markings for Spain on it, that we should go, ah, that's wrong. So it's trying to do that more on a diplomatic point of view. You know, if someone asks, yes, it was in camouflage, but lovely model, well done, and don't worry, it's a mistake everyone makes. That's the kind of feeling we're getting. So links in the description. If you like the idea of it, then head on over. I'll be the one letting you in, and you'll be away. So we talk about those things in here. In that group, it's a very good resource. There's quite a few other resources in Facebook groups on the subject. However, a lot of them they really go into the details. So there's no messing about. You know, you want to be in there to get the details out. But if you put a model up, don't be surprised if someone says it's wrong, which is, you know, they are right, I suppose, to an extent. I said I wouldn't do this, but, you know, sure, this will be fine. Go and buy this book if you've got an interest in it. Please, please do buy this book. This is a review. You know, if you like any of the pictures, well then head on over and grab yourself one of these, because it's an absolute brilliant resource. So here we go, Krupp-Proz. So that is the famous old German. Hang on, believe it or not, this might be a recurring incident. This here's one I grabbed earlier. So we're talking about this, that famous old German vehicle you see always tittering about in Poland and in France. Well, it was in Spain as well, the early version, in this scheme. So in that camouflage scheme, pulling pack 36s around. So there's a lot of vehicles that actually cross over. So there's one, which I think is really quite nice. That's the Krupp-Proz L2H, which is the SD Kfz 4.3. Hang on, L2H 4.3. It gets confusing. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes with this. There we go. Another one there as well. That's not old Von Thoma, is it? Oh, it gets very... I find it engrossing, all this stuff. It's absolutely... It's just... I can lose days and days looking at this stuff. Right, so what we got there... Let's try and get a little bit of a better angle at this. So this is one thing I've still yet to actually answer. We've got the SDAH 115 trailer. Now, it has turned out that, again, things are never straightforward. So we've got Das Werk has finally brought one of these out. Hallelujah, how brilliant that is. Well, of course, the one in Spain is not quite the one that they give you, because the one that they give you is the later version, the Mark 10, that actually has this bit that comes off so you can load. It didn't work like that. It's a fixed trailer. So, I mean, that's not going to be as straightforward as I thought. Plus, the truck that pulled it doesn't seem to exist in 135th. We've either got a Volmag 5 LR 448 or a Bussing Nag 650. Well, you know, if you find one of them in 135th, please let me know. But as we get on through, we'll get back on track. Where are we? So we get lists of what was used in the different groups. Now, there is a chance that certain things from one area could have pulled something the other area. It's not impossible because the two vehicles were there. So this is what I'm saying about getting caught up in the details. I want to build the old 8-ton half-track. So this one was here. It was used in Spain. So we got that one, right? So I'm basically going to use this one to pull that trailer. That's where we're going to get to in the future. It probably never happened because this was with the artillery division and the trailer was with the tank division, but it's not impossible. But it's the only thing I can really find to pull the damn thing. It's been going on a year now. I've got to draw a line under it. Do you know what I mean? We've got all these cars, which are not available, unfortunately. But if I finally bloody get to... Here we go. We get the Heinkel 33. That's a G. Now, as best I can come to understand is that the G and the D, they're really talking about an engine. One's petrol, one's diesel. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to treat them as the same thing. So it starts cropping up, and then we start getting some interesting modelling opportunities as we go through a little bit further in the back. Again, please do, if you like what you see here, this is a book review, so buy the book. Don't want to be, you know, showing off all these brilliant pictures. I'm just trying to use it. So we've got a row of Henschels there again. And as we run through a little bit further, we start getting into what they're pulling. And that, in an extremely long-winded way, gets us to what the first part of this video series is going to be about. We're going to be creating this. So we've got an Henschel 33D1 here, pulling a Flak 18, which is the 88mm gun, but not really as you know it. It's the same gun, but it's on a different carriage. It's sort of a streamlined version. So that's the inspiration. That's what we're going to do. How are we going to go about it? Well, using this book. Do go out and buy it if you like it. And this kit, which has been quite hard to track down, it's about, but you know, it was produced in 2005. So it's had a long run of things, and it only seems to come into this country in sort of fits and starts. You get kind of 5 up here, and then they're gone again for years, and then it's back again. So I decided to actually grab it this time. It's a lovely, lovely kit. One of AFV Club's finest, to be honest. And what we get in here is a whole load of sprues to make up the gun. We also get some metal barrels for the actual barrel, making up the different sections of it, and a bloomin' good turned metal barrel, which is a very welcome thing. And we get everything to make up the carriage. We've got rubber wheels, photo etch. It's a really detailed model, fine thing. Now this was used many places actually, so if you like the look of this kit, you know, it's not just talking about Spain, it's not just an early gun, it was used all over. So quite a few went to North Africa, so we got 3 schemes there for North Africa. We got the Luftwaffe Abteilung 74 used at Dunkirk, and then we got Eastern Front and the north coast of France. So it's not the main gun, which is the Flak 36, I think it was, and then you've got the anti-tank one, which is then the Pak. I forget now, it's been a long time since I've done anything to do with this. But what this one was used for in Spain, it was an anti-aircraft battery. And then you get the old story that in North Africa is where they used them against tanks. In desperation, Rommel trains his flak guns down on the tanks and starts firing at them. Well, why did they have armoured piercing rounds built for a gun that was designed for shooting down aircraft? Because it was always designed to be an anti-tank gun. That's why. And it was used in Spain in an anti-tank role, and that is where they first trained it on tanks to devastating effect, especially for those early tanks that were floating about the battlefield. And it was a very devastating weapon. So they knew all about it going into World War II, just in case you were under the assumption that it was the other way. It's quite an important part of the story. So what I'm going to do is build up the ICM Henschel 33D1 along with this one towing on behind, and we're going to make that into a nice little build, I think. So it's going to be a little bit different to how I usually do build videos. It's going to be more of a long-winded chat. It's going to be the Spanish Civil War ground vehicles video series. So if you like the idea of that, join along, stay tuned. I have no idea what the timescale is going to be. I will try and be semi-regular, as in every couple of weeks I'm hoping for an update, film something, show you a bit more. It'll be building parts, talking about it as I'm doing it, really, as opposed to worrying about anything else. Probably more like you see the kind of live shows with me waffling on, as opposed to actually cutting bits out and having music playing and that sort of thing. So how I used to do it, and I got kind of scared off of that trying to build the channel. And I mean, you know, life's too short for that. This is more of a community-based thing. So I'm going to have everything going on as it was, still the build videos as we've been doing it, but trying to get back in touch with a few of you a bit more. I've been a little bit standoffish over time, usually because I get quite a lot of stupid comments and I kind of just tar everyone with the same brush, but I do read the nice comments that everyone puts, but I'm reluctant to reply because then I feel like I've got to reply to everyone. So we're going to try and get a bit more community-based stuff going on. I'm sure there'll be a few of you happy to hear that. And again, if this isn't for you, then just don't watch these videos. And if you feel like you've got a comment and, well then, so be it. Good on you. They all get read. Don't worry about it. So if you're mean, I read it. If you're nice, I read it. And I think, let's have more of the nice ones, shall we? So hopefully, that's of interest. I have not forgotten, for any of you that are worrying about it, wondering where it's gone and, you know, what's happened to it. Well, if we're going to have a Spanish Civil War ground vehicles, ground war series, then we're going to have a long-winded, extremely difficult and unusual kit of the air war, aren't we? And there may be already one video up of a certain kit that needs sorting out, and well, I haven't forgot about it. I'm sure you haven't forgot about it. Just stay tuned and we'll see where we go. So thanks for sticking through this video. It's been a very rambly video, I know that, maybe a little bit odd to what usually happens, but hey, let's see where it goes. I'll see you in the next video.